God incomparable in his being, as he is absolutely perfect, universal, and unchangeable. 4. He is an absolutely perfect being. There is a twofold perfection compatible to beings. Some are perfect in their kind, that is, have all things requisite to that species of which they are. So we say the world is perfect, because it hath all things needful to a world. A man is a perfect man that hath a body with all its parts and members, and a soul with all its powers and faculties. But secondly, a being is absolutely perfect when nothing can be added to it or taken from it, when it is incapable of the least accession or diminution. Now such a being is God, and none but God. As the sun gets nothing by the shining of the moon and the stars, neither loseth anything by their eclipses or withdrawing, so the self-sufficient God gains nothing by all the sweets and services, prayers and praises of his creatures, neither loseth anything by their neglect of their duties. He is above the influence of all our performances. Our holiness addeth not the least to his happiness. Can a man be profitable to God, as he that is wise may be profitable to himself? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous, or is it gain to him that thou makest thy ways perfect? Job 22 verses 2 and 3. He is beyond the malice of sin. All holiness doth not help him, so the sin of his creatures doth not hurt him. All those darts of sin which the wicked shoot up against heaven fall short, and fall down upon their own heads. If thou sinnest, what dost thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what dost thou unto him? If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receiveth he of thine hand? Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the sons of men. Job 35 verses 6 to 8. Flesh and blood may be injured and pierced by the weapons of unrighteousness, but not the rock of ages. That is impenetrable. They who are of the same make and mould with ourselves may be advantaged by our blessings and praises, but not he who is above all blessings and praises. What doth the great light of the world get by the Persians' admiration and adoration of it? What is a fountain the better if men drink of its water and commend it, or the worse if men pass by and despise it? What would God get if he should make millions of worlds to laud and magnify him? Or what would God lose if there were no world, no creature at all? Who hath given to him, and it shall be recompensed again? Romans 11 verse 35. He hath given to all whatever they are or have, but none ever gave to him. They who give to him their love and fear and trust and names and estates give nothing to him. We can give nothing to him to whom we owe all. Besides, all we have and are and do and suffer for him addeth nothing to him. His declarative glory may, but his essential glory or glorious essence admits not in the least of any increase or decrease. But no other being is absolutely perfect. Men are exceeding imperfect since their fall. They are so far from being above all additions that they stand in continual need of additions. They need the air to breathe in, the earth to bear them, food to strengthen them, raiment to cover them, fire to warm them, sleep to refresh them. They want righteousness to justify them, the Holy Ghost to sanctify them, love to comfort them, and mercy to save them. Man is an heap of infirmities, an hospital of diseases, and a bundle of imperfections. He is so far from being absolutely perfect that, in a moral consideration, since his apostasy, he is not perfect in his kind. And though angels are more perfect than men, yet they are imperfect to God. Angels, it is true, are perfect in their kind, but not perfect in all kinds. Something may be added to them, something may be taken from them. The highest angel may be higher, the holiest angel may be holier, and the best of them may be better. Though the stars differ from each other in brightness and glory, yet none of them is a sun. Though angels differ from men and each from others in honor and excellency, yet none of them is a god, none of them is absolutely perfect. 5. God is an universal being. He hath all good eminently and virtually in himself. Whatsoever excellencies are scattered and dispersed among the creatures in heaven or in earth, they are all united in and centered after an infinite manner in the Creator. It is a true rule in philosophy, quod efficit tale est magnis tale. Whatsoever good is in the effect is more abundantly in the cause. Now God, being the principle and cause of all the good and excellency that is in every creature, it must of necessity be more abundantly in him. As some potions have the quintessence of many herbs, many drugs in them, So God hath the quintessence of all creatures, and infinitely more in him. For this cause he is called by and compared to whatsoever is good, and answerable either to necessity, conveniency, or delight. Sometimes to that good which is necessary, as to life, John 1 verse 4, to the fountain of life, Psalm 36 verse 9, to light, John 1 verse 9, to the Father of lights, James 1 verse 19, to food as to bread, yea, living bread, John 6 verse 51, to water, yea, living water, John 4 verse 10, to rest, return to thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee, Psalm 116 verse 7. He is the only ark wherein alone the dove, wearied about the waters of this world, can find rest. Sometimes he is compared to that good which is convenient, as to a habitation, Psalm 90 verses 9 and 10, O Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place from all generations. To health, Psalm 42 verses 11 to 17, to peace, 2 Corinthians 13 verse 11, to protection or defense, as a shield which defends the body from the shot or thrusts of men, Genesis 15 verse 1, to a wall which defends the traveller from the fury of beasts, Zechariah 2 verse 5, to a refuge which secures the army when it is foiled by the enemy, Psalm 57 verse 1, to a rock, a fortress, a high tower, Psalm 18 verse 2. Sometimes he is compared to that good which is delightful, as to riches, Job 22 verse 24 and 25, to unsearchable riches, Ephesians 3 verse 8, durable riches, Proverbs 8 verse 18, to honor and glory as a royal diadem. He is called a glorious Lord, Isaiah 33 verse 21, said to be the glory in the midst of his people, Zechariah 2 verse 5, to joy and pleasure, Psalm 43 verse 4, to relations, he is a father, 2 Corinthians 6 verse 18, and husband, Hosea 2 verse 19, to a feast of fat things, of marrow and fatness, of wine on the lees well refined, Isaiah 25 verse 6, which are the delight of the palate, to beauty which is the delight of the eyes, Canticles 5 verses 10 to 16, to sweet smells which are the delight of the nostrils, Canticles 4 verse 10 and chapter 1 verse 3, to the most harmonious music which is the delight of the ears, his mouth is most sweet or sweetnesses, Canticles 5 verse 16. My soul faileth when he spake, so ravishing was his voice, Canticles 5 verse 6, to truth which is the delight of the understanding, Psalm 31 verse 5, John 14 verse 6, to good which is the delight of the will, Matthew 19 verse 17. Thus God is not one good but all good. The truth is, all the good, all the excellencies that are in men or angels are not worthy to be a shadow or foil to set off those excellencies that are in God. All good is in one God, Mark 10 verses 29 and 30. But creatures are but particular beings. Man is but a particular being, a low, limited being. What is man? That is a worm, or the son of man, that is a worm. Job 25 verse 6. There is some good in one man and some good in another man, but not all good in any man, no, not in all men. Angels are but particular beings, little beings. One angel is one drop, another angel another drop, a third angel a third drop. Everyone is but a drop. None of them is an ocean, as God is, which containeth all those drops, and infinitely more. 6. God is an unchangeable being, not only without, but incapable of the least alteration. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13 verse 8. He is what he was, and what he will be eternally. He is the same since the world was made, that he was before the world, and that he will be when this world shall be no more. With him is not the least variation or shadow of turning, James 1 verse 17. No parallere or variableness. It is an astronomical word taken from the heavenly bodies, which suffer many declensions and revolutions, which they call parallaxes. Though those heavenly lights are variable, have their increases and decreases, their times of rising and setting, yet our Father of lights is not variable. He knoweth no rising or setting, no increasing or decreasing, but shineth always with the same light and lustre, with the same beauty and brightness, nor shadow of turning. Tropes aposkiasma. The lesser luminaries or stars, according to their different postures, have diverse shadowings or adumbrations, according to their nearness to or distance from the sun. Their shadows are greater or lesser, but our sun is still the same, knowing no clouding, no shadowing, no eclipsing. When God hates those angels as apostates whom first he loved, as created pure and holy, he is still the same. The change is not in God, but in them. Bring clay to the sun, it hardens it. Bring wax to the sun, with the same influence it softens it, without any alteration in the sun. When God punisheth a man that is wicked, and prospereth the same man, becoming a penitent, he is still the same. If a man walk on one side of a church, the pillars are on his left hand. If on the other side, on his right hand, the pillars remain where they were, the motion or changes in the man. But creatures are all mutable. The heavens seem constant, but it is in inconstancy. Their perpetual motion speaks their perpetual alteration. Psalm 102 verses 26 and 27. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. They shall wax old as a garment, that is wearing out and wasting every day. As a vesture thou shalt change them, and they shall be changed, but thou, Lord, art the same forever. The old heavens will pass away, and new ones succeed in their room at the general conflagration, but the God of heaven will never pass away. Man is ever in motion from one condition to another. His body changeth in its age, constitution, temper, at last into rottenness, dust, and corruption. I have said to corruption, Thou art my father, and to the worms, Ye are my brother and sister. Job 17 verse 14. His soul changeth in its passions, affections, love, hatred, delights, desires. His whole man changeth in its place, company, carriage, conversation. He hath no consistency while he is. He continueth not what he was. Job 14 verses 2 and 3. Angels are changeable, even the good angels, though not as men, yet as creatures. As perfect as they are, they have this imperfection. 1. They are who once were not, and in regard of themselves have a possibility not to be. 2. Angels may lose what they have and attain what they have not. 3. Angels are mutable in regard of place, sometimes in heaven, sometimes on earth. What little changeableness is in angels is derivative. God is the original of it. Their immutability at most is but from their creation. I suppose sometime since, for the good angels as well as bad were created mutable, but God's immutability is from eternity. The whole world indeed is a sea of glass, Revelation 4 verse 6, always ebbing and flowing, never at a stay, but the Maker of the world may well say, I the Lord change not.